Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lilian Wangoi Mboke if you're new here, and welcome to the family. Well, today's gonna be a story time about some experience I had a long time ago. But before we get into the story time, I'd like for you to subscribe down there, hit the bell, turn on your notifications so that every time I make a video, you are notified. Like the video, share the video, and leave a comment down there because I would love to interact and know what you guys thought about my story time, and maybe we could even do more. Why not? So, today I'm going to tell you a story about a boyfriend I had a long time ago. I don't know, this came to my mind the other day and I was like, this is a story I'd like to tell. So, I will use his real names because it's been a long time. I was still in junior high, which is between Form 1 and Form 3, that's junior high, and then Form 4 and Form 5 is senior high, or senior school, or senior secondary school, depending on where you went to school. So this guy's name was Steve, and Steve was Nigerian. Now, Steve was this dreamy guy. He had this, there's a way boys used to do their hair, like back in the day, when they make it like have waves like in their hair. It's like where you put gel nowadays and then you create those waves. I don't know how they used to do it, but he used to look so good. And he was tall, and of course he was Nigerian, so he had that big, buff, manly, deep voice, you know. And I was in junior high, so I was walking from school one day. It was not far from where we used to live, and I met a guy on the road. Actually, I was reading. You know how you could just be on the road? I was into reading, and somebody just snatches my book, and I'm like, what on earth? And then I see this very cute guy, and he's like, hey, what's up? My name is Steve. I've been seeing you. I'm like, okay, what do you want? And that's how we met. Now, it turns out that Steve stayed like maybe 6 or 7 houses away from our house. We used to live in a townhouse. These houses that are co-joined. So like you have one house and then another house, but they're all joined by a wall. So it's very easy to see your neighbor's house because there were no big walls where I stayed, and the walls are basically made out of a mesh, like a malleable metal mesh, and so you could see your neighbor's house. But they lived about like 6-7 houses down the road, so I couldn't see his house like from my place. So we started going, well, not going out, but we became friends. He would come walk me to school, walk me from school, and so this is the day. 2 things happened. I don't know if it was on the same day or 2 different days, but 2 things happened. And let me put this thing on vibrate. So we go for our normal walk. Now the houses were in rows, so there were about 5 or 6 or 7 rows, and there were very many houses. I couldn't tell you how many, in a place called Block 5. For those of you from Gaborone, you will know where I'm talking about. So he came, we went for a walk. About 3 rows down from my place and his place, he had a friend who happened to be a lawyer, and they used to have this place where these guys would come, hang out, and so I went. And we were about maybe 4 or 5. The rest, I was the only girl. So Steve decided that we're gonna go and watch a movie upstairs. So we went. I was like, why not? It's just a movie. So there I am. I'm all excited to go and see how upstairs, because it was like all the bedrooms were upstairs and the sitting room and the kitchen were downstairs and the dining room. So it was in another house that looks exactly like mine, just that it was on a different row from mine. So I wanted to see how it looked like from the upstairs. I was so naive. So we go upstairs. I'm looking out the window and I'm like, oh my god, there's my house. Oh my god, there's so and so's house. And I was not paying attention to what somebody is doing behind me, but he was quiet. I just assumed he was setting up the TV. When I looked back, dude was naked, only had his boxer shorts, and he's looking at me like, hey girl, hey. I'm like, this is the first time, by the way, I'm still a very good girl. Nothing ever has happened, and here I am with this very handsome guy, according to me now. Now I'm just like, eh. But then he was, and I was so shocked. And he's just sitting there thinking that I'm supposed to know what to do. Of course I knew what he wanted, but I was not gonna do that. So I looked at him. He's at some point he's wondering what's wrong with this girl. Why isn't she, I looked at him and I'm just like, no. So I went downstairs. Now, as he was upstairs like, dressing up, because he later came downstairs, I met someone that I knew. And knew my mom. Let me get a tissue. So I met someone that I knew. I looked at him, he looked at me, and it was just like, and I knew he thought that I had done something in that house. And I was so, not embarrassed, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that somebody I knew saw me in a house full of dudes, and obviously, what do dudes talk about? Or when you bring a girl over, what's it all about, So at this time, it was just like, hey, a very awkward hey. So the guy comes from downstairs, he's pissed at this point, but of course he's not going to tell his boys that this girl refused to do whatever it is that I wanted. But I was hoping that because we were there for such a short time, they wouldn't think that anything happened. But boys being boys, I'm sure he told them that we did something which we didn't. So that was the first story with Steve. But stupid me, I still continued dating the guy. So another incident, what happened? It was a Sunday. His parents were not home. He had his mom, his dad, and his two sisters. The mom and the sisters were not home, but the dad was home. And the dad had they had all gone out. Steve was home alone. So I went over to his place thinking we're gonna, chill. So while we were there, everybody got home. Everybody came home. So what do you think I did? I hid in his room, in his closet. Because mom and dad and the sisters shouldn't see me. I'm there illegally. And I remember this story sometimes. I think I was crazy, but anyway. So mom and dad come home. Lillian is stuck in the closet, of course, and now I'm stuck in there because I have to wait for them to either fall asleep because it's a Sunday afternoon, or I'm stuck in the house because now I've already hidden. I can't come from nowhere. So I'm in his room, he's in his room, his mom comes in his room, his sisters come in his room, I'm in the closet. Oh gosh. Anyway, they come, they talk for a little while, and then it just so happened that the sisters and the mom had to go somewhere, so they were leaving, and I was like, God, thank you. But the dad was not gonna leave. So when the mom and the sisters left, the dad was actually downstairs watching TV, and the seat that he normally sits on, it's like he's sitting here and the staircase is right here. So no matter what happens, he's gonna see me coming down the stairs. So we are basically stuck in that house. So we waited out about 2 hours. Okay, now at this point I'm not in the closet anymore, and yeah, I found lots of things in that closet. But anyway, so the dad falls asleep. He was reading a newspaper, he falls asleep. So we decide, because the mom and the sister could come back home anytime, so we're not going to take any chances. And of course I'm not going to sleep there. I have to go home, otherwise what am I going to tell my mom and my dad where I was? So since now the dad has fallen asleep, we tiptoe out of the house. It was like literally a movie, step by step. And now I'm trying to get down, and the dad is right there on the seat asleep as I tiptoe. Luckily, he never woke up. So we were able to tiptoe out to the outside and out of the gate. Oh my God. Sometimes I think I'm just like, I don't know, crazy. I think I was just a crazy girl. Crazy girl. Anyway, the Steve saga does not end. This is just part one of that story, because we went through a lot with that boy, and I still stayed with him. Sometimes I just look back and I'm like, Lillian, what were you thinking? So there are 2 more stories with Steve, which I will tell at another time. But yeah, I thought about it and I thought it would be an interesting story to share. So do you have any stories, like, boyfriend stories, girlfriend stories? I'm up for any story. Share them with me in the comment section below, and yeah, we can get to talking and seeing which are the crazy stories or what you have been up to. Although mine is not so crazy, but I have a few more stories that I think we'll get onto our channel, and yeah, I'll put them up and then we can be able to talk about them, laugh about them. Next time, maybe we should drink some uji or something. Maybe I should show you how to make the uji, then we drink it as we do another story. Sounds like a deal to me. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and spending your time with me. If you have reached to this part of the video, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe because we have to grow to 1,000. We are on our journey to 1,000 people, and it's gonna take a while, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We are gonna do it. I am so hopeful. Again, thank you for watching. Mwah!